Hi there, welcome to That Board Game Show. My name is James Wood, and today I'm showing you The Lost Expedition. And I'm doing this live, so I actually need to flip to the top-down camera to show you The Lost Expedition. There you have it. So I am going to be doing a solo playthrough today, and I am streaming this live. And so this is my first time streaming this live. Let's circle back to, there we go. Hello. So for anyone in the live chat, please feel free to drop comments and suggestions and ideas as we go. This is a solo or cooperative game designed by Peer Sylvester with art by Garen Ewing and published by Osprey Games. And if I keep looking over that way, it's because I'm checking the live chat. So, without further ado, I'm going to flip to the top-down camera and tell you all about this game. The Lost Expedition is a cooperative survival adventure game based off of the true story of Percy Fawcett on a mission to find the legendary city of El Dorado, which is represented on this card over here, which he referred to as the Lost City of Z. Now, there was a book written called The Lost City of Z, which told the story of Percy Fawcett. And in this game, we are recreating the expedition sent out to find him, because he went out looking for the Lost City of Z, and he was never heard from again. So now we are sending out an expedition crew to go try find where he is and possibly even find the Lost City of Z ourselves. I have yet to win this game playing it solo. It is no easy feat. I have managed to win it a couple times playing two-player. And one thing I find interesting is the rules as written speak to the solo mode being basically the same as the hard mode for the two-player game, which I find a bit strange. That they don't give you an option to do player scaling, or difficulty scaling, I should say, for the solo mode. So one of the ways that the game is made more or less difficult is you play with less of these path tiles. To play an easier game, you'll see that there are 9 of these out. In an easier game, you play with only 7 of them, and the reason that makes a difference is how you win the game. Is you're going to take your little pawn over here, you start on this tile, and you have to move all the way along through the jungle and get to the Lost City. If you do so, congratulations, you win. Now, you can make the game easier on yourself by removing 2 or 3 of these cards so that you have less cards to traverse. And you also start with more starting health on your expedition crew. So in the Lost Expedition, we are sending off a crew of adventurers to hunt down Percy Fawcett. Well, not hunt down, we're sending them to look for Percy Fawcett. So let me show you the table over here. And we've got our map over there. We have our expedition crew in a solo game, which is what I shall be playing today. We only play with 3 of them. You will see that they all have these little symbols in the corner here. This guy's got a little campsite. This guy has a leaf. This guy has a compass, and then we have the same 3 symbols on Isabella, Bessie, and Eunice, and our gentlemen over here are called Teddy, Roy, and Candido. And so as a solo game, you're going to pick one of the groups, and you're going to need one of each symbol. So in today's video, I'm going to leave Roy, Teddy, and Candido back at home, back at base camp. They will be my reserve crew in case things don't go so well for them. We'll put them off to the side. And we'll put our handy rulebook off to the side for reference later, as and when we need it. We will also set aside one of these pawns. Now, usually I would always play green, given the choice between green and yellow. But for today's video, I shall be using the yellow pawn because it shows up much more clearly on camera. Green pawn will simply stand off to the side there. Then, in a multiplayer game, you would have this expedition leader token given to one of the players. Again, playing solo, I don't need that, so we'll put that over there with the little green pawn that's waiting his turn. You will see what this morning token does shortly. And now we'll take our 3 explorers and put them over there because my camera's having a little panic attack. So let's put my explorers in the middle. And in the solo game, you give them 3 health tokens each. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're playing an easier game, you can give them 4 health tokens each. I am going to be tough on myself and see if I can survive and give them only 3 because this is officially how the solo game is played. You play with 9 path tiles across the top here and 3 starting health on each of your expedition members. You also have 3 food and you start with 3 ammunition. And we also have a handy dandy player aid. On one side you have all the symbols and on the other side you have more symbols and how they work. So I'll pop those off to the side there. And that's the setup. So how you play the Lost Expedition is with this big old deck of cards here. And what you're going to do with this big old deck of cards here is in the solo game, you are going to be dealt a hand of 6 cards. If you're playing with multiple players, each player is given 6 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this is where things start to change. So in a multiplayer game, you're not allowed to show the other player your cards. And you're also not allowed to tell them what your cards are. You just have to play them and hope for the best. So what the cards are doing is the cards are what is allowing us to traverse through the pathway here. And they are also representing the various dangers and encounters that you would have traversing through the deep, dark jungle. So, for instance, in my starting hand of 6, we have an ambush. Oh my. We have a cougar. Wow. We have a terape, which I'm guessing is either the name of the canoe or the name of the tribe that guy's from. I don't know my Amazonian jungle geography, history, nativity all that well. We have the path ahead. That's a nice, easy scouting card. It's actually, there we go, that's better. And we have a rope bridge. That is another scouting card by the look of it. We have a manye. Again, probably the name of a tribe. I'm not sure. And we're back to our ambush. Okay, so each of these cards, you'll see along with the name at the bottom, has a number and a number of icons at the top here of different colors. Now the colors determine what that icon represents, whether it's a mandatory action, an optional action, or, yeah, that's actually the only 2 options, mandatory or optional. The best way, I think, to show you how all these icons and symbols work is to simply start playing. So if I was playing with more players, the other player would have a hand of these cards, and we would have to basically be determining when we're going to play a card next. You kind of freeform. If you've ever played a game called The Mind, or there's another one called Quirky Circuits, They both have this element of limited communication, of having to play your cards without actually communicating with the other players what it is you're trying to do. What I'm going to do now is show you how the solo play works, and that is done by, in the morning phase, the game is split into two phases. You have the morning phase and the evening phase. In the morning phase, the cards are resolved in numerical order, and in the solo game, we start by drawing two cards from the top of the deck and revealing them. So we'll reveal those two. We'll put them in numerical order, so 8 will come before 39. And then I must play two cards from my hand, and they will slot in accordingly. So let's see, now is the time when things are going to get rather quiet as I look at all my cards and try to decide what to do with them. So we can see over here that we've got something that's either going to give us food or an option to traverse. This symbol here means that you skip the next card in the row. So I'd be smart to put a card here that I want to get rid of. And as a rule, the lower numbered cards are easier, and the higher number cards are more challenging, more difficult, more deadly. Okay, so let's see. I've got this one, which is a 14. So that would cost 2 food and let me move. That might actually be a good one to have soon. But now you see, if I put that over there, then this card will discard this card. Unless I take the food. Okay, actually, yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play that and I'm going to play that. Okay, so I'm going to play those two. So now I've played 2 cards from my hand. Now I will reveal one more card from the deck and we will put it in. It is a 56, it goes all the way at the end. Now I must play one more card from my hand and then we will resolve those 6 cards. I need to play one more and it has to go in numerical value. Maybe I just get this one in play. Yes, let's do that. I'm going to play the cougar over there. And that's it. Okay, these 3 I'm just going to set aside for now. Over there. They'll be picked up again shortly. And now we resolve the cards left to right. And we resolve the symbols top to bottom. And we have to resolve the various icons in very specific ways. So here's how it's going to work. Any yellow box you see, so we've got a yellow box there, a yellow box there, and a yellow box there. Those are mandatory and you have to resolve them. If you see a blue box, like these ones over here, those are optional. You may resolve any one of those, but you can only resolve one. Or can you resolve more than one? I need to check that. I'm pretty sure it's only one. You may choose to ignore or trigger each blue box on a card. Oh, that is useful. I've played that wrong every time I've played this game before. Okay, so blue boxes, you can trigger all of them, and you may trigger them. You do not have to. Red boxes, you must always trigger exactly one. Basically, this is a survival game. We are trying to survive this terrifying, deadly jungle. And interestingly, this is not a fantasy survival game. This is a very real-world survival game, in that everything you're encountering here is actually accurate to the creatures, the tribes, the insects, the dangers that you would really find in, I believe it's the Amazon jungle. I could be incorrect on that. Let us resolve card number 1, the path ahead. The path ahead has this symbol, which tells us to add a card to the end of the path. So we will take another one. And now this one's completely random. We don't know what it is. It is some nightshade. That can't be good. I highly, highly doubt that's going to be good for us. That goes to the end of the path. Now I may resolve both of these because they are blue boxes, or I can choose to ignore both of them. So I think I'm going to resolve both of them. I'm going to spend one compass. Now, to spend a compass, if you don't have a card in your hand with that symbol, you have to pay one of the injuries on one of your expedition members. So Isabella is going to go scouting ahead, and she is going to show us the way, but along the way she trips and scrapes her shin on a route that was jutting out, and we have made one progress along the path. 8 more of those steps and we win. I can also spend an ammunition, kaplow, to hunt some food. We get some food into our supply. Jolly good. That's off to quite a good start. The path ahead card is now discarded. Boom, we have finished with that. We can slide these ones over. And we now resolve footprints. We find some interesting looking footprints, and now we have a choice to make. We can skip over this next card, which is what this symbol is. So this card has these 2 symbols. We can skip over the next card in the line and make 1 progress on the track, or we can get 3 food. And hello, are you doing a 2-handed solo? I am not, I'm doing a 1-handed solo. Hello, Simon. Thanks for tuning in. And let's cut to this angle. Hello. I am doing a single-handed solo today, probably the hardest way you can play this game. And I'm hoping for the best. I've only just got started. You will have seen I've only just made a little bit of progress. And I'm really hoping to make my way through. This is the morning of the first day so far, so wish me luck. It's off to a fairly good start, actually. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this card to get the 3 food. 1, 2, 3 food. I got more food than I know what to do with. Then I am going to spend 2 food from this card, 1, 2. So basically netted myself 1 food there to make 1 progress along the track. Boom. And as you'll see with these red boxes, you just pick 1 of the results. Then I need to deal with this cougar. I will spend an ammunition and I will scare away the cougar. And now, what this card does is, you see it's got a little black compass on it over here. That means I can add it to my hand, and I now have that card available to play later when I need to pay one of these compass costs. So I'll cover up the play rate over there. And then this one, the white box automatically skips over this card, discard the swamp, poof. Which isn't brilliant because now we're dealing with the nightshade. But I can now choose one of these. I can either take this into my hand as another compass. I can spend my compass to make 1 progress, or I can take a wound on one of my characters to make 1 progress. I think the obvious choice is to use the compass I got earlier. Advance 1 on the track. Poof. And now I stumble into a bush of nightshade. Oh golly. And Simon Reed jumping in the chat saying, you've played numerous times and never won yet. Yes, I can feel you. I can feel sympathy for you because neither have I. This is probably the best it's ever gone for me. So this game does not hold any punches playing solo. I've found that the multiplayer game, I've played it a couple times multiplayer, and I find that quite winnable, and it has quite good difficulty scaling. Whereas the solo mode for this game is basically the hard mode for the multiplayer game. And the multiplayer game, well, the 2-player game, allows you to play with, each player has a set of, each player has a set of explorers. So I've got my 3 over here, and another player would have their 3 on the table. So basically you've got 6 explorers. Playing it solo, you've only got the 3, and they start with less health, so it's not easy. Right. Oh yes, I'd fallen into a bush of nightshade. Ouch. Okay, this symbol here does not apply right now. It is a swap symbol. Come on, camera. Thank you. So the swap symbol means you can swap 2 cards that are later on in the path around, change their order. We don't have any cards later on in the path, so that doesn't apply. So now I either take 1 wound on any of my characters, or when you see the leaf symbol like that, or it could be a camp, or it could be a compass to denote the different expedition members, you have to take a wound on that specific character. So in this instance, I will choose that result, and Eunice, she looks like a botanist type, so maybe she was rummaging around trying to find some healing herbs, and instead she grabbed a fistful of nightshade by mistake. Oopsie. Okay, so that is first part of day 1. We have completed the morning phase. We now eat 1 food, gobble, 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 poof, and we will proceed to the night phase, or the evening phase. So we flip over the morning, evening token to the evening side. We have gobbled our food already. And now the cards are played out slightly differently. So I still have my 3 cards in hand from being dealt at the beginning of the game. Now, instead of the cards being resolved in numerical order, they will be resolved in the order played. So, playing it solo, I will choose 1 card from my hand to play to get the path started, and then I have to choose each time I'm going to play a card, if I play a card from my hand or if I want to play one from the deck. So let's see, I don't have any extra cards in my hand. My cougar is flown the coop. So my botanist and my explorer have both taken a bit of a beating. My, what would we call her? Camp maker. My camp maker, Bessie. We'll just call them their names. Isabella, Bessie, and Eunice. So Bessie is still at full health, but that doesn't really help. Okay, I'm going to play this one in the middle, because that's kind of giving me options. Will I play another card from my hand, or do I play a card from the deck? So the question is, would either of these cards be good to be played left or right of this card? That is the question. That is the question indeedly. I'm going to draw a blind from the deck and hope for the best. Let's see what we get. And we get Hai Ato Ihi. Probably butchering these names. Okay, so now this has to go left or right. I still have some ammo, so I could do that one. I could take a wound and get those. And now anytime you see a card that has 2 symbols like this, so if I was to take this choice and wound one of my characters, I would get this card into my hand and it would have these 2 symbols, but I can only use one of them, because when you use one of them, you discard the card. So it's giving you options, but it's not giving you both of those symbols. So I'll put that there. That I think I can work with. I still need to decide if I'm going to play either of these. So. Do I want to skip over anything? This is quite a good one for skipping things, although it's quite brutal. You take a lot of wounds with that card. So I'd actually quite like to skip that card. So I'm going to draw another one from the deck and let's see what we get. We get some rapids. We come across a raging river, a raging torrent. A torrent of raging rapids. Let's put that right at the beginning of the line. And I'm still not liking my options here, so I'm going to just play this card here and then draw one from the deck. And basically, you always play out 6 cards. So this is the last one from the deck, which is dehydration. That's terrible. Oh my word. And that has to go left or right, so I should have played this earlier, because then that could have skipped that. But oh no. Oh well. We'll put you at the end, and then we'll play you there. Right. That is the plan for the evening, and I might have a way to mitigate this. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Okay, first things first, I have to spend a food and add a card to the path, and I get to make one advancement, or spend a food, take a wound on my Isabella, and make one advancement. I'm going to add a card to the path. I would rather survive more cards than beat her up further. So, we're going to go with this option here. Come on. Thank you, camera. We are going to spend one of our food, gobble, 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 to traverse the rapids. Some of our food that we've gathered along the way falls out of our boat and goes careening off down the river. We add another card to the end, and oh my goodness, piranhas! Wow. Rather appropriate considering those were added by the rapids. And we make one progress. Huzzah! Boom! We're halfway there. Halfway to victory. Ha ha ha! Okay, let's see if we can survive a little bit longer. I can deal with this card now, so I can spend an ammo and a wound and make another progress. Anytime you see this skull and crossbones symbol here, that means to just kill one of your characters completely, which, if one of them is already down to 1 health, might be a viable option. Or we can take a wound and get this card into our hand. So let's see, what do we have coming up? We have some pretty bad stuff coming up. Yeah, I'm going to spend the ammunition and the wound. So there's my last ammunition. Click! And that is my gunpowder run out. Got all wet in the rapids. I will wound one of my characters. Let's see. I think this one I'm just going to take more cards. So I will wound Eunice over there. And we will make one progress. Huzzah! I might actually win this. Don't say that too loudly. I might just... I might trick myself into a false sense of security. Okay. Okay. Next card, I need to deal with this Tapirape. I need to spend a leaf to advance one, a leaf to heal one. If you see the little black cross, that is to heal. But to spend a leaf, I would have to kill Eunice. I don't really want to do that. So I shall spend a wound of Isabella. She will take one for the team, and now I get this card into my hand, and it gives me 1 leaf for later use. I'll park that over there. Then this card allows me to swap 2 cards around, the little swap action there. So now the question is, do I want to swap things around? I could swap these 2 around so that this card would skip this card. Or I could swap these 2 around so this one's going to skip this one still. So the question is, Can I survive dehydration better? Or can I survive piranhas better? Which one? This is very much a lesser of two evils situation. Okay, I have to decide. Now the swap is optional. I could just leave things as they lie, which I think I'm going to do. Yes, I'm going to do that. Now I have to resolve one of these red boxes. So I can take a wound on Isabella, which will kill her, and we make one progress. I can kill one of them straight up, and we make one progress, which is that action there. Or we simply add a card to the end of the chain. I'm thinking I'm going to add 2 cards with this one. And then we're going to be skipping that one. So you know what? I think Isabella's going to take one for the team. Oh dear. Okay, sorry Isabella. It was nice knowing you, but she goes scouting ahead. She traverses that rope bridge. And as you can see, it's rather precarious looking. It's not the most stable of things. And as she's going along, Eunice goes ahead, Bessie follows up behind, and Isabella's the last one on the bridge. They make some progress, but in the process, Isabella goes plummeting into the ravine, never to be heard from again. Ah! Gong! Our first fatality of the game. Dun dun dun! Oh dear. But we're so close. We are so close to the end. 2 more steps and we've got this. Just 2 more steps. Okay. But lots of wounds coming up. I'm going to choose the option on this dehydration card that says add 2 cards to the end of the path. Because the alternative there would be to take 2 campsite wounds, which would be putting her nearly dead. So let's rather take 2 cards. Oh, golly, that was a mistake. A fever and a faulty kit. Oh, gosh. Yep, I'm going to die. This is the end. Isabella was the first of the dominoes to fall. Oh well. Let's see how quickly it goes sideways. Ambush means we must take a wound and add a card to the end of the chain, and we can discard this one, so we skip over the piranhas, which is actually a shame because the piranhas are the only cards currently visible that give us movement. Oh well, they're gone. And I have to take 2 wounds. Yes, the game is now over. Oh wait, let's do, okay. So I'll choose this one. No wait, that's 2 more wounds, whereas this is just 1 more wound. I haven't taken this wound yet. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay, I have to take 2 wounds total. Yeah, so that's game over. Because if I take 1 wound off her and 1 wound off her, she's gone. Eunice gets killed in the ambush. Whee! And then that was that card. Then the next card in the line is a wound. Boom. And then it's a wound on any character or a wound on your campsite character. And I only have 1 character left. And I have no cards with campsites. This one has a leaf. That doesn't help me. So Bessie catches a fever. She manages to escape the ambush, survive the bridge. But then she maybe ate something bad, got a fever, and withered away in the jungle, all alone. And we were 2 steps away, and there you have the solo mode for the Lost Expedition. Game over. Bum, bum, bum. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly had fun. I made it way further along than I think I ever have before. I don't think I've ever made it that far in the solo game. Now, if I were playing on the easy mode, which I'm going to check the rules. So you see here, when you're setting up cooperative rules, you have easy, normal. Hey, let me show you over on the top-down camera. I don't know if you can even read that, but I'll just tell you what it says. You have easy, normal, and hard. So, easy, you use 7 expedition cards. These are expedition cards here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So on easy mode, that would have been a victory. On normal, you use 9, and you place 4 health markers on each of your characters, instead of starting with only 3. On normal, you use 9 expeditions and start with 4 health markers. And on hard, you use 9 expedition cards and place 3 health tokens on each explorer and take 1 extra food. So, basically, hard is what I played today on the solo mode. And it didn't go well. I am going to have a look and see on the solo mode. Solo setup, choose 1 explorer of each expertise, so you only get 3 explorers, 3 ammunition tokens and 3 food, and lay out 9 expedition and 3 health tokens on each explorer. Yep, in this version you will work alone to keep your explorers alive and bring them glory. Or not. These rules are broadly similar to the cooperative version, and those rules should be read first. So I would imagine that you could probably just apply the cooperative difficulty levels, the easy, medium, or the easy, normal, or hard mode. I think just starting with 1 extra health on each, frankly, would make it doable. You could probably get all the way to the end there. That was just a really bad run right at the end with those, like, I think I lost like 4 health in 2 cards. That was rather brutal. Rather brutal indeed. So, there you have the Lost Expedition played solo. I shall say thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye! Oh, and remember to spread the joy of tabletop gaming.